On the last day of college application submissions, my childhood friend suddenly changed his choice to the same university as the campus queen. A friend teased him. "What's going to happen to your little childhood sweetheart? Didn't you two agree 6 years ago to go to North City together?" It was like he just remembered. He paused for a second and casually replied, "Julia, don't worry. She has my account login. If she sees I changed my application, she'll just follow along. She can't live without me anyway." I stayed silent for a long time, quietly walked away, pretending I didn't know a thing. That day, I didn't log into the system again. I didn't change my application to follow him. What he didn't know was, he could cross mountains and seas for the campus queen. But I, too, had my own sky I dreamed of flying toward. Even that dream I had fought for day and night was never just for him. Chapter 1. Fabian's words froze me in place. I almost forgot how to breathe. Applying to the Industrial University of North City was a promise we made back in the first year of middle school. During application week, both of our families sat down together for hours to carefully make that decision. But now, he had suddenly changed his choice. Without even saying a word to me, inside the restaurant's private room, his friends kept digging. "How do you know Julia will open your account to double check? What if she didn't notice at all?" Fabian laughed like he just heard a joke. "Not notice? Please, I know her better than anyone. She checks that system like 800 times a day. Afraid she might mess something up and we'd get assigned to different majors." He sounded a bit exasperated. "You wouldn't get it. If you had a clingy little shadow trailing you since childhood, you'd understand." Laughter erupted around him. His friends seemed to get it, but still pushed. "Even if she notices, how can you be so sure she'd change her application just to match yours?" Fabian looked up from his game, sneering. "Come on. Julia's never been apart from me for more than a week in her entire life. If she's not going to college with me, who else would she follow?" Another friend couldn't hold back and cut in. "Fabian, I'm just saying, what you did is kind of messed up. You couldn't just tell her you changed your application?" Fabian paused, fingers frozen on his screen, visibly annoyed. "I genuinely forgot, and honestly, I didn't feel like explaining the whole thing. If she found out I changed it for Misty, she'd totally flip. Besides, it's not like I did it on a whim." Misty said she felt scared going to the South alone and that having a familiar friend there would make her feel safer. Everyone went quiet for a second. Then they nodded knowingly. "Yeah, I get it. Misty's such a beauty. And with everything going on in her family, it's natural to want to protect her. Not like your simp Julia, always looking like a mess. Head buried in textbooks, she's really no match for the campus queen. TSK. She even gave up on her beloved aerospace major. Only Fabian knows how to treat a lady right." Their laughter, mixed with game sounds, continued. But outside the door, I felt like I'd fallen into an ice pit. I clenched my fists tightly. I wanted so badly to storm in and confront Fabian, but my feet felt like they were made of lead. I couldn't take a single step. I stood there for who knows how long. In the end, I never found the courage. I simply turned away in silence, and walked out of the restaurant in a daze. Chapter 2. Only after I locked myself in my room did the tears I had been holding back finally break free without restraint. Fabian's words kept replaying in my head, every sentence echoing. Honestly, I still couldn't understand. Why would he suddenly give up on the aerospace major he'd loved since we were kids? We had worked so hard together for years, just to reach the scores for our dream program. Even just moments ago, before stepping into that restaurant, I had still been smiling like a fool, thrilled at the thought of achieving that dream side by side with him. But it never occurred to me, the future I fought for with all I had, believing it belonged to the two of us. He could throw it all away just because of a single sentence from someone else. And even if he had to change his plans, why couldn't he at least tell me? Is he that scared I'd cling to him? If he was so afraid of that, then under the starlit sky on my 18th birthday, that kiss, the one he initiated so gently and cautiously, with both our hearts pounding, what did that even mean? Was it just a drunken whim? And I had foolishly mistaken it for something sincere? Something inside me just snapped. The truth is, it was never about following him. Since kindergarten, I had been in the same elementary school, middle school, and high school as Fabian. Everyone, including Fabian himself, just assumed I would always be by his side, that we'd never be apart. But no one ever knew that aside from being attached to him, I had another reason for choosing that university, a reason that had nothing to do with Fabian. Even if he didn't go, I would have gone anyway. I shut the laptop that I had unconsciously opened just now. I didn't want to look at that application system ever again, and I had absolutely no intention of changing my choice just because of him. He could go chasing the campus queen across mountains and seas. But I had my own sky I dreamed of flying toward. If we each had our separate paths, then there was no need to ask anything more about the past. Chapter 3. Once that thought settled, everything seemed to clear up all at once. It wasn't that big of a deal after all. Mom was right, people have to learn to grow up on their own eventually. As for that kiss, I'll just treat it like a random dog bite on the street. I had just calmed myself with cold water on my face when Fabian suddenly video called me. My brain hesitated, but my fingers reflexively answered. Julia, why aren't you here yet? Everyone's already here waiting for you to start eating. Why are you getting more and more slow these days? Princess? After the college entrance exam, Fabian and his close friends had taken turns hosting fancy dinner parties to relax. Tonight was Fabian's turn to treat, but I really didn't feel like going anymore. I'm not coming. You guys go ahead. I hadn't even finished speaking when a deliberately sweet and soft female voice came from beside him. Fabian, is Julia upset that I came to your little group gathering? Before Fabian could respond, a few male voices quickly jumped in to defuse it. How could that be? We're honored the campus queen would grace us with her presence. Julia's just a little possessive. She always makes a fuss whenever a girl gets too close to Fabian. We're used to it. Misty's profile appeared on Fabian's screen, casually leaning in close. She gently whispered in a considerate tone, Fabian, maybe I should just leave. I don't want to cause trouble for you. Fabian's expression changed instantly. He turned to hold her back. Misty, you don't need to leave. Who knows what's wrong with Julia today? If she doesn't want to come, then forget it. We're not waiting anymore. Let's eat. Fabian threw those cold words at me, then hung up the call before I could say a word. Fury surged inside me. I immediately blocked him. For the first time in my life, I blocked Fabian after a fight. And once again, it was because of Misty. Chapter 4. Ever since Misty transferred to our school in the second year of high school, I've lost count of how many exceptions Fabian made for her. Maybe guys just like that kind of girl, sweet, pretty, and delicate. During the time when I was constantly exhausted and buried in textbooks, Misty always looked flawless with her perfect no-makeup from early morning. She never settled, always carried herself like a carefully curated doll. Because of Misty, Fabian and I had countless fights and cold wars. There were even a few times I truly believed he had fallen for her. So I tried distancing myself from him, quietly and intentionally. But Fabian would always come find me afterward, over and over again, assuring me, "What are you overthinking? Misty's just a classmate to me, nothing more. Don't take it the wrong way. It's just that I feel bad for her. Her family situation is complicated. People compliment her to her face, but judge her behind her back." I believed him. Misty did have a messy home life, so I didn't push too hard when she got closer to him. Besides, Fabian had never lied to me, not once. All these years, if he said he didn't like her, I believed him. But gradually, without even noticing, Fabian and Misty had a whole world between them that I didn't know about. And now, he'd even changed his college application for her. Just like that. It just made me feel even more ridiculous. Thoughts raced through my head until a WeChat notification snapped me back. Julia, you've got guts. Huh? Blocking me? Wait till you get home. Fabian sent it using his friend's account. I blocked that account too, without hesitation. I checked the time, then grabbed my things and headed to school. It was the last day of application submissions. Our homeroom teacher had asked us to gather one final time for some final reminders. There was some traffic on the way, so by the time I arrived, Fabian and Misty were already in the classroom. The seat next to Fabian, my seat, was occupied by Misty, sitting there like she owned it. She didn't even try to move when she saw me coming. Her eyes gleamed with smugness. Fabian acted like he didn't notice me at all, wearing that cold expression and deliberately turning his face away, like he was waiting for me to cave and make peace. But I wouldn't. In fact, I didn't want to sit next to him anymore anyway. Looking around the room, I headed straight to the empty seat next to my best friend Clara. Far away from the two of them, the teacher gave a short announcement. Class, there's only half a day left for college applications. Please double-check everything carefully. If you're still unsure about your choices, feel free to come speak with me one-on-one. Then we were left to ourselves. I was listening to Clara gossip about the scandal involving her favorite idol when someone suddenly tapped the top of my head. Julia, come outside. I turned my head and met Fabian's eyes. I looked away immediately, not wanting to deal with him. I turned back to continue chatting with Clara, but Fabian grabbed my shoulder and twisted me to face him directly. Julia, what's with the drama this time? I'm really tired of this. It's always fighting and silent treatment with you. We're about to go to college. Can you stop being so childish? Forced to look him in the eye, I shot back coldly. Yeah, it is childish and annoying. So quit trying to make peace with me. We stared each other down for a moment before Fabian lost patience. Whatever. I'm not going to argue with a petty drama queen. If you wanna act, go ahead. Just don't come crying at night like you always do. I turned away, face cold, refusing to look at him. I thought he'd finally left. But Fabian suddenly turned my head back with both hands and said seriously, "Today's the last day for applications. Check everything one more time. All right? Don't mess it up." He seemed like he had more to say, but then Misty showed up, hugging her laptop. Fabian, I'm still having a little issue with my application. Can you take a look for me? Fabian nodded and got up to go with her. Before he left, he did something he used to always do, pinched my cheek gently, then added, "Why didn't you bring your laptop? Make sure you go to the school's computer room later and double-check your choices. Stuff like this, it's a big deal. Don't be careless." Chapter 5. I sneered to myself. Fabian probably thought that with his little reminder, I would go double-check everything, find out something was off, and immediately change my application to match his in City C. But of course, he couldn't bring himself to just tell me directly. Makes sense, if he had to openly admit he'd changed his application, he'd also have to explain everything to me. The clingy troublemaker, that would have been such a pain. Thankfully, I had already made up my mind. There was no going back. Glancing at Fabian, who was still busy helping Misty with her application, I pulled Clara out of the classroom. We were about to call a ride home, but Clara saw I wasn't in a great mood and insisted on dragging me to one of her friends' birthday parties. I couldn't win against her, so I went along. After dinner, they pulled me, again, against my will, into checking out a newly opened bar. Only after arriving did I realize Fabian's party was being held there tonight too. There were quite a few mutual acquaintances between both groups. So naturally, we all ended up in the same large private room. When Fabian saw me, his expression turned awkward, but he didn't say anything, not even a hello. I acted like he wasn't even there. On my way to the bathroom, I overheard him talking with a friend around the corner. The friend was advising him, "You really should just be honest with her. Sending a girl off to the Northeast alone isn't easy." But Fabian didn't seem too concerned. "Relax," I reminded her like 3 times. "She's definitely already changed it. She's probably just mad because I didn't tell her ahead of time." While I was standing there, stunned, the two of them came around the corner. When he saw me, Fabian signaled to his friend to leave, then stepped forward and blocked me in the hallway. "Julia, let's talk." I rolled my eyes at him and turned to walk away, but I only took 1 step before he grabbed me and cornered me against the wall. The faint smell of alcohol hit me right in the face. I instinctively turned my head away. We stared at each other for a few seconds before Fabian broke into a reluctant smile. "Still mad? Huh? I was gonna message you this afternoon and ask you to come to the bar with us, but you blocked me, so I couldn't send it. Then you got me so riled up in the classroom. I totally forgot to tell you. Come on, be good. Don't be mad. Where do you get this much attitude every day?" "Oh, right. Did you check your application? Everything's good?" I stayed quiet, face emotionless, not wanting to say a word to him, lowered my head and said nothing. Just as he was about to speak again, Misty's voice suddenly rang out behind him. "Fabian, Tom's looking for you to drink." "Oh, I'm sorry." "Sorry. You guys go ahead." Sometimes I seriously wondered, did Misty have him bugged or something? Every single time Fabian spoke to me, she would show up right on cue, but I didn't want to waste time talking to either of them. Taking advantage of the moment Fabian looked back, I slipped out from under his arm. As I passed Misty, though, she grabbed my wrist, tight. Chapter 6. I'm really sorry, Julia. I didn't mean to come between you two. You've been upset all day, and Fabian's been in a bad mood too. I didn't want to respond. Her grip on my wrist was tight and painful. I had to yank hard to break free. Misty stumbled a little, her eyes immediately welling up with tears. Fabian, is Julia still mad that I came to your little group gathering? I'll apologize to her, okay? I don't want you two fighting because of me. As she spoke, she actually stepped in front of me and started bowing like she meant it. Fabian lost it instantly. He turned around and stopped her. Why are you apologizing? She's the one acting like some spoiled princess. Julia, what are you pushing people for? You should be the one apologizing to Misty. We're all going to the same university. Wouldn't it be better if we could all look out for each other? Well then, since you two are so good at taking care of people, I snapped. Why don't you just take care of each other from now on? And with that, I turned and stormed off, ignoring Fabian's irritated voice behind me. Julia, enough already. It was a while before Fabian and Misty returned to the room. Fabian's expression was stiff and awkward, while Misty, on the other hand, looked sweet and shy, not the least bit upset. Except for Clara. Everyone else teased them for being gone so long, hinting that there was something going on. During a round of truth or dare, they even deliberately set up chances for them to flirt. Even Fabian's childhood friends joined in the banter, not caring at all if I felt humiliated or uncomfortable. Makes sense. To them, I was just Fabian's simp. Later, Misty got a dare to do a sexy slow dance with one of the guys present. The moment she heard it, she looked straight at Fabian for help. Fabian glanced at me, just once, like he was trying to provoke me, then agreed to dance with her. No hesitation. If this were before, I probably would have jumped in and stopped it right away. But now, I didn't react at all. Misty had joined the hip-hop dance club at school, and with her curvy figure, her dancing was definitely a spectacle. I cracked open a beer and downed it, watching coldly as Misty, to the beat of a sultry K-pop track, pressed close and danced around Fabian. Fabian kept a slight smile at the corners of his mouth. At first, he kept glancing over at me, like he was waiting for me to protest. But as Misty's movements grew bolder and the distance between them vanished, he stopped looking away, his back straight, his eyes locked solely on her. The tension between them was so thick it might as well have sparked flames. By the time the song ended, Misty accidentally tripped and fell right into Fabian's arms. She was wearing a tight-fitting dress that night. The way she landed, straddling him, practically in his lap, was beyond suggestive. The crowd erupted with whoops and cheers, loud enough to shake the ceiling. Misty's face flushed bright red, as if she was desperately looking for a place to hide. Fabian was yelling at everyone to chill, saying the joke had gone too far, but at the same time, he wrapped his arm around Misty's head and pulled her into his chest to shield her from the stares. That natural, easy closeness, it used to belong to me, even though I had already decided to let go. Watching it happen still made my heart clench in pain. I couldn't take it anymore. I finished my drink, got up, and quietly left the room. Clara followed me out. She couldn't stand it either and ended up cursing them out with me on the curb for a long time. She'd been holding back all night, nearly lost it several times, but I had stopped her every time. Why ruin the mood, right? We were just strangers now anyway. I had no idea how the rest of their night ended inside that room. All I knew was I was exhausted, and nothing seemed to matter anymore. When I got home, it was exactly 11:55 p.m., just 5 minutes left before the college application deadline. I felt completely drained and collapsed onto my bed with my eyes closed. Was I disappointed? Of course I was. Over a decade of feelings, how could you just let them go with the flip of a switch? While I was still drowning in that ache, my phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. I picked up and heard a drunk Fabian on the other end. His voice was softer than usual, tinged with an almost pleading coax. Julia, stop being mad, okay? Be good. Just remember to change your application. That city down south is actually really nice. Sea breeze and sunshine. When the time comes, I'll take you to the beach for a photo shoot. Chapter 7. Maybe it was the alcohol, but Fabian sounded unusually gentle. In the past, whenever we fought, even when he was the one to back down first, his tone would always carry that half-joking, half-threatening edge. Julia, stop being difficult. Keep this up and don't expect me to take you to Disney. And I'd always cave, stepping down just like he wanted, forgiving him, because when you really like someone, how could you bear to ruin everything? But this time, the softer he spoke, the worse I felt. Say something. Julia, are you there? Haven't you always wanted to go to the beach for a vacation? I heard the new campus down south is right by the sea. You'd love it. Honestly, North City is a bit too far. And the winters are freezing. You're so afraid of the cold. You'd be crying all the time. Or, if you really want to go, I can take you to the ice world during winter break. How about that? Fabian kept rambling on, like he was trying to convince himself and me, as if going to university in City C was somehow for my benefit. I listened quietly for a while, until I couldn't hold it in anymore. I asked him, Fabian, isn't there something you want to tell me? Even I didn't realize how choked up my voice sounded. I thought, if he could come clean now, be honest with me, then maybe we could still be regular friends. But if even now he couldn't give me a real answer, then there was really no reason to keep him in my life. There was a short pause on the other end. Then his voice came back, vague as ever. Didn't you already figure it out? Why even ask? You've been mad at me about this all day. Who else is as petty as you? All right. It's not a big deal anyway. They're both good schools. And you picked a major you like. As long as we're together, does it even matter where we go? Fabian went on and on, still avoiding the real issue. I was tired of listening. That was his last chance. And he blew it. Before he could finish, I hung up the phone and turned it off. I glanced at the clock. The second hand had just ticked past midnight. No more time to second guess. No more turning back. And maybe that was for the best. We each chose our own paths. In the end, I guess we both got what we wanted. I turned off the lights and lay flat on my bed, forcing myself to sleep. But the moment I closed my eyes, all I could see was Fabian. Happy Fabian, sad Fabian, annoyed, funny, angry Fabian. He had been in every chapter of my memories. Growing up beside me from two bratty kids to now, I never thought we'd end like this. Late at night, people always get more fragile, even though I had told myself to be strong during the day. My pillow was soaked with tears before I even realized it. Somewhere between the tears and exhaustion, I must have fallen asleep. When I woke up again, it was already noon the next day. I turned on my phone. Dozens of missed calls and messages from unfamiliar numbers, all from Fabian. I didn't reply. WeChat was blowing up too. Clara had dragged me into a group chat with her girlfriends, and she was non-stop tagging everyone. Gossip had just dropped. Chapter 8. I tapped into the group chat and saw that one of the girls had posted a screenshot from WeChat moments around 1 a.m. last night. Everyone in the group was commenting like crazy. TSK. The campus queen just went public in the middle of the night. How many couples have gone official since exams ended? It's Misty. After all, total rich girl vibes. Just that watch alone looks like it costs tens of thousands. That's bold. You can tell everyone's really letting loose after the Gaokao. It was a screenshot from Misty's WeChat moments. Without thinking, I instinctively tapped on the photo to enlarge it. The picture showed a guy lying on a large white hotel bed. His face turned slightly away from the camera, just a quarter of his side profile showing. But even from that angle, I knew it was Fabian. My heart instantly started to ache again. The caption Misty wrote was even more suggestive, painfully so. I walked 99 steps toward you with all the courage I had. Thankfully, you finally turned back and took the last step toward me. This moment feels like happiness. The post had tons of likes and comments, all congratulating her. Misty's replies were equally flirty and intimate. Fabian's close friends were all in the comment section too. My heart sank. So that's how far they'd gone. So last night, while Fabian was sweet-talking me over the phone, He was lying in someone else's bed, wrapped up in someone else's arms. Wow, impressive. He really went all out. My emotions crashed again, straight to rock bottom. And yet, a strange sense of relief also crept in. Thank God I didn't actually change my college choice because of him. If I had, I would have been the biggest fool for the next 4 years. I locked my phone screen and forced myself to stop thinking. Stop thinking about Fabian and Misty. Still zoning out. The doorbell rang suddenly. I got up and opened it, and standing outside was Fabian. Chapter 9. There were dark circles under Fabian's eyes. In his hand was a box of desserts from my favorite place. I stood frozen at the door, making no move to let him in, but he just gently pushed past me, walking into the living room like he owned the place. He placed the desserts on the dining table, then, out of habit, reached out to ruffle my hair like he used to. I dodged just in time. Julia, your temper's really grown. Huh? I sent you so many messages and you didn't reply. Didn't answer my calls either. What now? Are you gonna sulk until I go on vacation without you, then show up crying and begging to come along? Fabian carefully unpacked the little cakes, cut them into small pieces, and held them out to me. All right. Don't be mad anymore. I took a taxi for half an hour this morning just to get these for you. Come on, eat. I know you've been craving them forever. Afterward, we'll plan where to go for summer break. I didn't take the cake. Fabian gave a helpless smile, then tried feeding me directly with a fork, but I silently stepped farther away. Okay, Your Highness, if you don't want to eat, we'll skip it. You always dreamed of going to Tibet, right? But we never had enough time before. Well, summer break's the perfect chance for a spontaneous trip. I've already talked to Tom and the others. We'll rent 2 cars and go together. It's no fun with just 2 people. More people, more fun. I shook my head and said no. I'm not going. You go without me. I'm heading out soon. So please leave. Fabian paused, then said with a frustrated sigh, why not? You've been talking about this for years. Are you really gonna skip it just to stay mad? He set the cake down and reached over to hug me. As I moved away, I didn't realize he swiped my phone with his other hand. Stop it already. Will you? I drank too much last night and barely slept. Got up early just to come soothe you. I'm exhausted. I snapped. No one asked you to soothe me. I don't need it. Fabian frowned. Then explain why you suddenly don't want to go. I looked straight at him and said calmly, if you really wanted to talk to me about it, you wouldn't have made all the plans and then come to ask me at the end. And honestly, isn't it better if I don't go? Misty's definitely going anyway. Why do you need me there too, to witness your happily ever after? Fabian let out a long breath. That was the sign he was out of patience. Yeah, Misty's going. She loves Tibet too. But she's not the only girl. It's not just you two. Fatty's girlfriend is coming as well. Why are you always so hung up on her? What did she ever do to you? With her family situation, she hasn't been able to travel for years. The college entrance exam just ended, and she's paying for herself to join a group trip. What's so wrong with that? Tibet's huge. Are you saying there's no room for her? Fabian was clearly worn out. He wasn't even thinking before speaking anymore. I was too mad to answer. I just nodded. Sure, go with whoever you want. I'm not going. Fabian's temper finally snapped too. This is it, Julia. Last time. I've given you so many chances to save face. But this is too much. I already bought your ticket. We meet at the airport tomorrow morning. Whether you come or not is up to you. He slammed my phone down on the table and strode out. I didn't try to stop him at all. I followed him to the door, and the moment he stepped outside, I slammed it shut. Fabian was furious. Right before the door clicked closed, his face looked like thunder, and he still couldn't resist lecturing me. With that nasty temper of yours, how are you supposed to get along with your dorm mates in the South? Chapter 10. His final words were cut off as I slammed the door shut in his face. Back in the living room, I angrily tossed the cake Fabian had brought straight into the trash. As if I cared about his damn cake. As if I wanted to go on a trip with him and Misty. Even his attempt at making peace, trying to balance between the childhood friend and the new girl, just looked ridiculous to me now. I sat on the couch, fuming. To get away from all of this and stop letting him mess with my mood, I decided I'd go travel too. They say it only takes 21 days to build a habit. So I figured, maybe it only takes 21 days to break one. 2. Mom didn't feel safe letting me travel abroad alone, so she agreed to let me stay at my aunt's place for a while. Since I'd already finished submitting my college application and had nothing else going on, I packed lightly and booked a flight for that very night, straight to the beach. By 10 p.m., I was already sitting in my aunt's villa, enjoying a feast of grilled seafood. The ocean breeze blew in, carrying the sizzling aroma of barbecue. I felt lighter, happier. I couldn't help myself. I posted a WeChat moment, a little midnight food flex. Clara and the girls saw it and immediately bombarded me with jealous replies, swearing they were coming to visit me in a few days. The next morning, I was shaken awake by my cousin calling me. I peeked out the window. The sun was already blazing. "Hey, someone called for you," and ended up reaching me. "It's your childhood sweetheart." She handed me the phone, still half asleep. I took the call, and sure enough, it was Fabian. "Julia, everyone's already here except you. Boarding's in half an hour. Where are you? Why'd you block me again? Your mom said you stayed with your cousin. Did she come to City A or something?" He sounded urgent. I blinked, fully awake, and answered, calm and unhurried, "No, I came to her place." Fabian's tone turned frustrated. "Stop messing around. You were at home just yesterday. If you leave now, you can still make it in time. I already told you, I'm not going with you guys, so stop wasting your time waiting." There was silence on the other end. Then I heard a girl whisper nearby, "Julia really did go to the beach. Look, here's the WeChat post she made last night. My friend showed it to me." Oh, if Misty hadn't said anything, I might have forgotten that Fabian couldn't see my moments anymore. "Believe me now?" I asked. Fabian seemed too furious to respond. Just before I hung up, I heard him growl through gritted teeth, "Julia, don't regret this." Chapter 11. Of course I regret it. I regret not coming here for vacation earlier. All the exhaustion from my senior year of high school seemed to melt away under the sunshine. The beach, coconuts, and seafood barbecue these past few days. When my cousin found out about what happened between Fabian and me, she was furious. She kept shouting that she'd introduce me to some handsome guys and dragged me out every day to have fun. There weren't too many people at the beach during the rainy season, but it wasn't too hot either. Beachcombing, taking photos, diving, sea fishing, water parks, bungee jumping over the ocean. Every day was so full I collapsed into bed and fell asleep the moment my head hit the pillow. I didn't even have time to think about those unpleasant people. Fabian and his group seemed to be having a good time too. In our girls-only gossip group chat, people kept sharing the stunning vacation photos from their trip. I had deliberately avoided looking before. One day, my cousin was finally too exhausted to drag me out again and let me rest. While scrolling on my phone absent-mindedly, I clicked one of them open. Fabian and his friends had been to many places. Every scenic spot had cheerful, youthful group photos. Among all the photos, I saw countless shots of Fabian and Misty together. Misty always appeared right in the center of her WeChat 9 photo grid posts, hard to miss. In front of those endless mountain meadows, crystal clear blue lakes, and the distant majestic snow-capped peaks, there were solo shots of just Fabian and Misty together. Every place was one I had long dreamed of visiting. A wave of sourness rose in my chest. The world Fabian and I had once promised to explore together, in the end, it was someone else who shared it with him. Turns out no one is truly irreplaceable. When my cousin woke up and saw me wallowing alone again, she started scolding me for being such a pushover. "It's just a few WeChat posts. Who doesn't know how to take pictures and use filters? I've never lost in the photo editing game. I told you long ago. You just never put effort into dressing up. Once you start college and clean up a little, you'll have guys lining up for you. By then you won't even give your ex a second glance." From that day on, my cousin practically forced me into taking a ton of gorgeous photos, then kept nagging me to post them on my WeChat moments. I swapped my oversized school uniform for her collection of dreamy beach dresses. My thick black glasses were replaced with contacts by strict orders, and I started learning makeup from her. Hair perms and manicures, the essentials for college entrance exam survivors, were all booked in by her. After her full makeover plan, I could hardly recognize the girl staring back at me in the mirror. From a nerd buried in textbooks, I was transformed into the kind of beauty influencer I used to admire from afar. Even my mom, when she saw the pictures, was stunned. Tears welled up in her eyes as she murmured, "My daughter has grown up." My WeChat moments were buzzing. Classmates left comments and likes, saying I'd changed so much. Some even shared my photos in our class group chat. Seeing all the praise and encouragement made me a little shy. I thought for a moment and replied in the group, "You're flattering me. It's all thanks to photo editing." My comment showed up in the class group at the same time as one from Misty's best friend. "Julia's editing skills are amazing. You should teach us sometime." There was a moment of awkward silence in the group chat. Clara couldn't stand it. She immediately dropped the original photos and live images I had sent her into the chat. My classmates were even more stunned. Even our teacher chimed in to praise me. So our class rep had her beauty hidden by the school uniform. Didn't see that coming. Pure artsy goddess vibes. Julia looks great even without makeup. Makeup just makes her even more photogenic. Her looks were overshadowed by academics. Otherwise, our class would have had two school beauties. The one who had been throwing shade went quiet. Another of Misty's friends jumped in with a snide, "You can edit live photos too." But before I could respond, several classmates spoke up for me. Fabian and Misty never said a word in the group chat, but from that day on, Fabian stopped posting updates about his travels. Not long after, my mom told me I had finally received the admission letter from the Industrial University of North City for the program I had dreamed of. I cried with joy for a long time. All those years of hard work had finally paid off. But then my mom told me that grandma was sick, and I needed to go back right away to visit her. Chapter 12. The next day, as I rushed off the plane and landed at the airport. What a coincidence, it just so happened that I ran into Fabian and his group on their return trip. I'd heard their trip was supposed to last a month. I didn't know why it ended 2 weeks early. When our eyes met, Fabian looked visibly shocked. Even Misty froze for a few seconds. After a brief, awkward stare, I turned to leave. Only then did Fabian snap out of it and rush over to greet me. "Julia, you're back today too?" He couldn't hide the surprise in his eyes, and the admiration slipped out of his mouth before he could stop it. "I almost didn't recognize you at first. I didn't expect you to look this good now." "Thanks." This was the first time Fabian and I had been apart for more than a week. But when I came back to my senses, I realized it really wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't want to make small talk. Dragging my suitcase, I quickly walked toward the exit. Mom was waiting for me at arrivals, and I hurried toward her. Just as she took the suitcase from my hand, Fabian's voice came from behind. He had actually followed me. "Julia, why are you in such a hurry?" "Hi, Auntie Julia. I assume you also received your admission letter?" My parents insisted I come back early for the graduation celebration. "Right. Didn't we agree before that our two families would host the party together?" My parents already booked the venue. Mom didn't respond immediately. She glanced at me, my face clearly showing I wasn't pleased, then stepped in to shield me. "Fabian, Julia's not planning to host a graduation party anymore. My company's busy, and her grandmother's fallen ill. So we're all tied up. When things calm down, we'll just have a small family dinner to celebrate. Please thank your parents for their kind intentions." Her response was as polite and considerate as it could be. As for what happened between me and Fabian, she only knew we had a falling out, and that he even changed his college major because of it. I didn't explain the details, but Mom had been disappointed too. She thought Fabian was being too careless with his future. Fabian rubbed his nose awkwardly, then asked about my grandmother. Mom replied vaguely, gently declining his offer for us to ride home together, and quickly led me away. Later, I went to the hospital to visit Grandma. The doctor said her condition required surgery in a better hospital in Beijing. They had already made the arrangements. I volunteered to go to Beijing with my aunt to help take care of her. Ever since Dad passed away 8 years ago, Mom had been running the company on her own. It was exhausting. I wasn't much help normally. So with some vacation time left, it felt right to do what I could for the family. That very day, I accompanied Grandma on a flight to Beijing. Naturally, I didn't attend Fabian's graduation party. Chapter 13. Even if I had stayed in town, I wouldn't have gone. On the night of Fabian's graduation party, he seemed to be in a bad mood. He kept borrowing other people's phones to call and urge me. At first, He was just asking where I was. Then, after trying a few times, he realized I wasn't just running late, I had no intention of showing up at all. He was furious. Even his mother eventually sensed something was wrong and called me herself, trying to sound me out. Julia, did you and Fabian have a fight? Why didn't you come by the house after the trip? Are you upset with me too? When I get back, I'll give that brat a good scolding. Don't be mad anymore, okay? You two still have to head off to college together soon. I've prepared a full set of skincare, sunscreen, and dorm supplies just for you. I'm not upset. No need. Auntie, my mom's already taken care of it. We really have some family matters to deal with. I'm not even in a city right now. Just as I was explaining, Fabian suddenly snatched the phone on the other end. Julia, you're really something. This is a huge moment in my life, and you just blow it off with some lousy excuse? What do you mean by this? Spell it out. We've known each other for 18 years, not 18 months. Not 18 days. Do you even remember that? At that moment, I had just come out of my grandma's hospital room, getting ready to head back to the hotel. I was completely exhausted. Fabian, congrats. You got what you wanted. I really have things going on at home, so I'm not coming. I hadn't even finished before he started yelling. Don't you think you're taking this petty act too far? How many days has it been? How many times have I tried to apologize and be nice? Do you have any idea how your attitude is ruining my mood? I couldn't even enjoy the trip because of you. Are you planning to keep this up until college registration? When that day comes, I'm not helping you move those big suitcases. Let's see who you turn to for help then. Don't worry about it, I replied casually. But in my mind, I remembered that several helpful guys in the freshman group chat for North City Industrial University had already offered to help people move in on registration day. The sky won't fall just because Fabian isn't around. I hung up the phone as Fabian was still reeling in disbelief. Then a text from an unfamiliar number arrived. Julia, if you've got the guts, don't come crawling back to me in college either. You'll regret it once someone else takes me. Chapter 14. Even if I had stayed in a city, I still wouldn't have gone. On the night of Fabian's graduation party, he seemed to be in a terrible mood. He borrowed someone else's phone and kept calling me nonstop. At first, he just asked where I was. After a few follow-ups, he realized I wasn't just running late, I wasn't coming at all. He got really mad. Even his mom finally noticed something was off and gave me a call, trying to sound me out gently. Julia, did you and Fabian have a falling out? Why didn't you stop by our place after the trip? Are you upset with me too? When I get home, I'll give that brat a good scolding. Don't stay mad, okay? You two are still going to college together. I've prepared a full set of skincare, sunblock, and dorm essentials just for you. I'm not mad, really. Auntie, there's no need. My mom already got everything ready. We really do have family matters. I'm not even in a city right now. Just as I was explaining, Fabian snatched the phone. Julia, you're unbelievable. This is one of the most important moments of my life, and you just bail like that, with such a pathetic excuse? What do you even mean by this? Be straight with me. We've known each other for 18 years, not 18 months. Not 18 days. Do you even remember that? At the time, I had just stepped out of Grandma's hospital room and was heading back to the hotel. I was completely drained. Fabian, congrats. You got what you wanted. I really can't make it right now because of family issues. Before I could finish, he exploded. You're still keeping up this petty act? It's been days. How many times have I tried to talk to you, smile, and apologize? Do you have any idea how your behavior has ruined my mood? I couldn't even enjoy the trip properly. Are you planning to keep this up until college starts? Fine. When the day comes, I won't help you carry your heavy suitcases. Let's see who helps you then. Don't worry about it, I replied lazily. In my head, I remembered several friendly guys from our freshman group chat at North City Industrial University had already offered to help people move in on orientation day. The world wouldn't end just because Fabian wasn't there. While Fabian was still stunned, I hung up. A moment later, I received a text from an unknown number. Julia, if you're so tough, don't come crying to me in college when someone else snatches me up. Don't say I didn't warn you. I rolled my eyes. deleted the message, and blocked the number again. All my focus was on taking care of Grandma. The school had published the official list of acceptances. Everyone's admission info was there. I didn't go back to school. Clara told me Fabian didn't either. The next day, his dad took him to work at a company out of town, saying he needed some early real-world training. After his graduation party, for some reason, he even left the class group chat. I figured, this time, he really wanted a clean break from me. That's fine. Grandma's treatment and recovery in Beijing went smoothly. By the time I was preparing to head off to university, she had already been safely brought back to a city. I only stayed home for one night. My mom had already packed my luggage. The next day, she personally drove me to campus for registration. Not once did I run into Fabian. Turns out college wasn't as scary as I thought. The moment we got out of the car with my several large suitcases, a bunch of enthusiastic upperclassmen came rushing over to help move them to my dorm. The girls from the north in my dorm were all super warm and outgoing. In our major, the few girls in the entire year were all placed in our dorm room. Within just 3 days of settling in, they were already taking me around campus to explore and eat. Even the northeastern food I thought I wouldn't like turned out to be delicious. They even brought me to the public bathhouse on our first night. With nothing to hide, we all got familiar with each other real fast. As I was quickly settling into college life and had just received my third confession letter by the time military training began, Fabian suddenly called me again. Julia, I went to your house yesterday. Wanted to go register at school together. Your mom said you had already gone ahead. But I got to school today and no one could tell me which class you're in. What's going on? Which campus are you on? I suddenly didn't know where to begin. After all this time, he still hadn't realized I didn't follow him in changing my college choice. It's not about the campus. Fabian, I'm not even in the same university as you. I couldn't help but snark. No way. You're joking, right? Fabian let out a forced laugh. Okay. Don't be mad. Fine. I'll apologize. I was wrong. All right? Just come to the front of the girls' dorm. My mom brought a bunch of stuff for you, your favorite snacks too. Don't say I'm hoarding them all. I couldn't hold it in anymore and explained to him clearly, word by word. Fabian, you're honestly way too arrogant and clueless. I never changed my application. My first choice was always North City Industrial University. Aerospace major. You knew that. I've always wanted to apply there. Why would I suddenly go to C City? Just then, one of my roommates called out to me. Yo, sis, how about some fried pork for lunch? Huh? The thick northeastern accent made Fabian freeze on the other end of the line. When he spoke again, he sounded like a broken recorder. Why you? You're kidding, right, Julia? And no, that's impossible. Didn't you know I changed my application? There's no way you didn't change with me. How could you go to North City all alone? I let out a deep sigh. I'm not joking. Fabian, you didn't even ask me when you changed your application. Why were you so sure I'd follow you? And not to mention, you didn't change it for me, you did it for someone else. Why would I tag along like a fool? Fabian rushed to explain. But that night I asked you. Remember? You said you knew. So how could you not change it? That's impossible. You're not doing this because of Misty, are you? I only helped her because she was crying. She said she was scared to go out of town alone. You know her family's originally from Fujian, but after her dad got in trouble, they never went back. And she's only in college thanks to her art specialty. She didn't have many options. Unlike you, your grades are amazing. That school was the best she could hope for. Fabian rambled on in a panic. I didn't say anything. All I could hear was her. Even now, he could only see things from Misty's point of view. He never once thought about how I felt. Misty's dad had been a corrupt official who'd been in prison for years. He and her mother had divorced before that. Afterward, she and her mom moved to a city for a fresh start, trying to escape the shame back home. She was still a child then, and none of it was her fault. But none of that was my fault either. Why should I be the one to accommodate her? Fabian, if she means that much to you, then you've got what you wanted. You and I were just ordinary friends. There's no need to stay connected. Please don't bother me again. I hung up the phone, took a deep breath, and didn't even have time to feel emotional. My roommates were already dragging me to the cafeteria. I thought Fabian would finally give up. After all, we were now worlds apart, north and south, miles and miles between us, and more emotional distance than we could ever bridge. But the next night, Fabian actually showed up, right in front of me. Chapter 15. At the time, I wasn't alone. Standing a little awkwardly beside me was a guy from my class. He was quite handsome, tall too, and his name popped up on the campus gossip wall often. I was just about to ask if he needed something from me. During lunch, he'd already snuck quite a few glances in my direction. Julia, I'm Luis. I'm the one who sent you those 3 letters that never got a reply. I think you're really pretty. I want to seriously date you, like, really seriously. Would you give me a chance? He stammered nervously, scratched his head, and then quickly shoved a 4th letter into my hands. Before I could even react, he bolted. Julia. I had just opened the letter and turned around when I saw Fabian standing behind me. He looked tired, probably from traveling, and there was a hint of weariness in his face, but dressed in a crisp white dress shirt and tailored dark slacks. He was still every bit the polished, refined heartthrob from our elite high school. With that formal outfit and the laptop in his hand, he looked like he had rushed over straight from some business event. Even though I'd tried to let go, I couldn't help feeling a little dazed. I have something to say. Can we sit somewhere and talk? Fabian's voice was cautious, like he was afraid I'd turn him down. I've got a class meeting tonight. Just say it here. I replied calmly. If he had come all this way, he clearly wouldn't leave without saying something. But I didn't expect his first words to be, "You've only known that guy for a few days and he's already confessing? That kind of guy's clearly not serious. He's just into your looks. Stay away from him." I scoffed. You came all this way just to say that? What does it have to do with you? I'm not supposed to meet new people. Should I sit around forever for old friends instead? Fabian choked on his words. When he spoke again, his tone was noticeably softer. Julia, I don't know why you didn't change your application along with me. I'm sorry. I guess I was overconfident. I just thought, no matter where I went, you'd follow. I cut him off. Stop. Don't force your expectations onto me. Don't guilt trip me. I never agreed to change my plans. It was you who changed first. But before, no matter what school I picked, you always followed me. You even had my application portal password. Why didn't you change it this time? Fabian grew agitated and grabbed my arm, demanding, why didn't you just tell me up front that you wanted to go somewhere else? Would I have stopped you? Why did you have to test me like that? Do you think messing with someone's future is fun? I stared him down. And you, why didn't you ask me before changing your own plans? Why assume I'd follow you? Especially when you changed it because of someone else. You really expected me to go along with that? It wasn't like that. I swear, I guess. I was just too sure of what we had. Don't you remember? That time, when I kissed you, you didn't push me away. I was going to confess to you after we got to college. I even planned that after graduation, we'd come back and get married. There's never been anyone else. Misty was just me trying to make you jealous. Fabian's voice cracked a little, eyes slightly red. I pulled my arm away from him. But you never once considered how I felt. That's when I realized, you don't even understand me. You didn't know why I chose this university. Maybe you assumed it was just because you wanted it. But it was never just about you. You should know, my dad died during an aircraft experiment. I asked you so many times back then, what's so captivating about space that my father was willing to risk his life for it? The more I missed him, the more I wanted to find that answer for myself. Did you really think I'd give up his dream just to chase after you? Fabian froze. But you never told me that. I smiled faintly. Maybe he never realized that the casual questions I asked him back then weren't just out of curiosity. They were born from my longing for my father, and quietly planted the seed to carry on his legacy. All the hard work I put in, it was never just for Fabian. In the end, I said everything I needed to, not just for him, but to give closure to my own youth. I'm still thankful, Fabian. When my father passed, you were there for me through the hardest days. When my mom was buried in work, your parents treated me like family and gave me warmth I'll never forget. But Fabian, the moment you made that decision, when you broke our agreement without even telling me, that's when our story ended. Chapter 16. After I left that day, it suddenly started to rain. My roommate came back and told me there was a handsome guy downstairs, standing in the rain for ages like a heartbroken fool. I didn't react. I didn't feel like trying to talk him out of it anymore. Fabian stood outside our dorm building all night. He didn't leave until dawn. But what I didn't expect was that he didn't go back to Sea City. Instead, he went straight home to a city. A few days later, I got a call from his mother. Julia, maybe you could talk to Fabian. He said he got sick after coming back from North City, burning up with a 39-degree fever. Refused to go to the hospital or take any medicine. He finally got better today, but now he won't go back to school. He said he wants to drop out and reapply to North City Industrial University, just to be with you. I felt a massive headache coming on, but I didn't hesitate. I answered her firmly and clearly. That's not going to happen. Auntie, I'm not waiting for him. I've already planned out my college life. I won't stop and waste time for anyone. Please tell him if he keeps doing this, I'll only look down on him more. On the other end of the call, I heard something fall to the floor. Later, I heard that Fabian had gone back to school, finally giving in. It was his grandparents who talked some sense into him. Still, I heard he wanted to take the grad school entrance exam and apply to North City, just to be near me. Every break, he would fly from South City to visit. Even though I never acknowledged him, he would still stand at a distance, quietly watching, dropping off little things I used to like. But over winter break, I was no longer single. I ended up with that Luis, the one who acted all cool in public but turned into a loyal puppy whenever he was around me. After 99 love letters, I just couldn't keep saying no. And, well, he did have pretty decent abs. Sometimes, he'd tuck a few of pics in with the letters, which drove my roommates crazy. They kept pressuring me to verify if they were real. And one day, after seeing Luis slide down a snowy megaslide with me in his arms, Fabian finally disappeared from my life for good. After that, I rarely heard anything about him. Even our family moved away from where we used to live. Mom decided to relocate us entirely. And years later, I finally earned a direct track PhD, just as I dreamed, and Luis was still by my side. Together, we entered a top aerospace research lab. Every now and then, I'd look back on those youthful memories, but they had become nothing more than small, insignificant episodes of the past. The future, the infinite universe, was still waiting for me to explore. Story 2. I transmigrated into the villainous in a sweet romance novel. Here's how the story goes. The male lead is deeply in love with his wife. However, his wife falls ill and doesn't have much time left. During this time, the wife's sister, also known as the original character, climbs into his bed. The wife, being extremely magnanimous, not only doesn't blame her sister but also asks the male lead to marry her after she passes away. With no other choice, the male lead reluctantly agrees. But all of this is merely the background of the sweet romance story. The real story is this: the male and female leads meet, and the female lead slowly helps the male lead open his heart, allowing him to move on from the pain of losing his wife. In the end, they get there happily ever after. As for the bothersome original character, after enduring betrayal from everyone around her and cold treatment from her husband, she jumps off a building to her death, successfully clearing the way for the female lead. Chapter 1. The timing of my transmigration couldn't have been more impeccable. At this moment, the original character was lying on her sister and brother-in-law's bed, looking like she was ready to be ravaged. But the burning sensation coursing through my body told me something was definitely off. I propped myself up and climbed out of bed, only to have my legs give out, sending me kneeling to the ground. Ugh, this is intense. The original character's bag had been thrown to the floor. Inside, aside from a phone, there was surprisingly a voice recorder. Gritting my teeth against the heat coursing through me, I turned on the recorder and placed it on the bedside table. Then, grabbing the phone, I stumbled into the bathroom and locked the door behind me. The original character had been planning to seduce someone. Did she drug herself for this? Was she afraid she wouldn't follow through otherwise? This didn't make any sense. So, who exactly had drugged her? Hello, is this 911? Someone tried to drug and assault me. Please come as soon as possible to rescue me. Mom, Can you come pick me up? I don't feel well and don't want to worry my sister. After making the 2 calls, I was already slipping into a haze of drowsiness. I managed to fill the bathtub with cold water before collapsing into it. The icy chill suppressed the fire raging inside me. Ugh, what a nightmare! The rest of the memory is hazy. I vaguely remember someone calling the original character's name. Laura. Laura. Where are you? There were sounds of someone breaking the door down, and arguing voices. Finally, my consciousness was swallowed entirely by darkness. Chapter 2. Things just got interesting, apparently. My ever-so-glamorous and oh-so-loving sister and brother-in-law were invited to the police station for a cup of tea. Their explanation? After dinner, they realized the original character was missing. Out of concern, they started looking for her and eventually found the bathroom door in their bedroom locked. They didn't know why she was in their room but were worried something had happened. So they tried to break down the door. The drug? What drug? We don't know anything about that. With no surveillance cameras in the room and no witnesses, whatever they said was as good as gospel. We'll investigate the source of the drug. Just rest and don't worry, said the officer. The officer's name was Elias. He had been here since I woke up, though his scrutinizing gaze never wavered. Aw, is this what they call a cop's sixth sense? I left a voice recorder on the bedside table. Maybe it captured something useful, I said. Elias nodded. Got it. I'll check it out. Then he turned to the original character's mom. Ma'am, please take care of Laura. I'll come back later to check on her. Don't worry, Elias. Laura is in good hands with me, her mother reassured him. After Elias left, the original character's mom looked at me with concern. Is Elias upset? Oh, right. Elias was the original character's boyfriend. They were already planning to get married by the end of the year. I raised an eyebrow. Why would he be upset? Upset because someone drugged me? The original character's mother frowned deeply. How could this happen? How could something like this happen? Well, you might want to ask Diana about that. Her face changed, and she instinctively objected. Impossible. There's no way your sister would do something like that, I said. The 3 of us ate from the same table. The only difference was that Diana gave me a glass of milk. It can't be that the milk was expired and poisonous, right? You don't need to react so strongly. I don't have any evidence, and I'm not accusing her of anything. It's just that some things are obvious, and anyone with half a brain can figure it out. Even if Diana didn't do it herself, she knew what was happening. The original character's mom stared at me, speechless. Then why did you say you felt unwell and didn't want to worry your sister? She asked. I shrugged. What else was I supposed to say? That Diana drugged me? If you heard that, what would you do first? She stayed silent. I answered for her. You'd call Diana to confirm it, wouldn't you? That would just push me further into the fire. So, you see, sometimes a little white lie is necessary. The original character's mother wasn't biased. Even though Diana had a congenital heart condition, she never treated the younger daughter unfairly. In the original story, she had been one of the witnesses when the original character was caught in bed with her brother-in-law. She slapped the original character and brought her back home. If it hadn't been for Diana begging desperately, she would never have allowed her to marry her sister's husband. When the original character later committed suicide, she was the one who grieved the most. Snapping out of her initial shock, she reached out to touch my head, her gaze firm. Mom won't let you suffer this injustice for nothing. Chapter 3. The voice recorder was found. And the contents? Absolutely explosive. Diana, what's going on? I clearly put her on the bed. Where did she go? Sam, maybe she woke up and realized something was wrong. Went back to her room? Diana, I'll go check. Diana, no. I've looked everywhere. She's not here. Sam, the bathroom. Diana, it's locked. Knocking sounds. Diana, Laura. Laura, are you in there? Are you feeling unwell? Open the door. Let your sister in. Sam, she's probably passed out. Diana, break the door down. Sam, Diana. Forget it. I don't want anyone else. I only want you. Diana, but I'm dying. What will you do when I'm gone? What about Lucas? In this world, only Laura can treat Lucas like her own child. Sam, but it's obvious she's already figured something out. Otherwise she wouldn't be hiding. Diana, it's fine. At the end of the day, I'll be the victim, and people will believe me. Plus, Lara wouldn't disregard my condition. TSK. This couple really gave me a new perspective on the diversity of human behavior. Elias was staring at me again, his brow gradually furrowing. I cupped my face and looked at him. Am I nice to look at? Elias lowered his eyes, expressionless. The one hit the hardest was the original character's mother. She looked pale, barely able to stand. How could she dare do this? Whether she dared or not, she still did it. Elias said, "We have a lead on the source of the drug. From what we see now, it looks like a joint operation by the couple. Sam's lawyer wants to see you and hopes you can issue a letter of forgiveness." No way. It's possible. One voice was from the original character's mom, and the other was mine. The original character's mom looked at me with heartache in her eyes. Lara, you don't have to worry about me. From now on, I'll consider her as no longer my daughter. I'm not exactly that merciful. Diana is already a dying person, and Sam's family is wealthy and powerful. There's no guarantee he'll face much punishment in the end. Besides, if you want to hurt someone, you have to break their spirit. Is Diana's illness truly incurable? The original character's mom shook her head. Diana has congenital heart disease and is destined not to live a long life. Plus, she's a bit dramatic. For her so-called great love, she insisted on having a child. In the end, she risked her life to give birth to Lucas. Her body was thoroughly wrecked in the process. Over the past 6 months, her heart failure has worsened, and she's practically been confined to the hospital. The doctors have already issued a death notice. So yeah, she doesn't have much time left. What a pity! If she could live for another 2 years, she could have had a face-to-face conversation with her husband's true love. Imagine what a spectacle that would be. How exciting! I said to Elias. I can write a letter of forgiveness and even drop the charges against them, but the two of them must kneel in front of me and apologize. The original Lara carried a tarnished reputation, shunned by everyone around her. After Diana died, she only lived for 1 more year. That year was full of unbearable pain, and eventually, she ended her own life. This couple owes her an apology. Elias nodded, saying nothing more, and turned to leave. Watching his determined back, I recalled his fate in the original story. When the original character was abandoned by everyone, only Elias believed her. But by then, she had already lost the strength to be with him. She broke up with Elias resolutely. A month later, Elias was killed in action during a dangerous mission. Lara secretly attended his funeral. She overheard Elias's superior say, "This mission wasn't originally meant for Elias. He volunteered. He hadn't been in a good state lately. He seemed deeply troubled. It was my mistake. I shouldn't have agreed." Buzz. Lara's world crumbled. From that moment on, she was like a walking corpse. Chapter 4. The couple's apology, though late, finally arrived. After 2 days of rest in the hospital, the original character's mother took me home. The original character's father had died when they were very young. The mother was a remarkable woman. She built her business from scratch while raising 2 children. Now, her business had grown modestly, and both of her children had grown up. Her only real worry had been her eldest daughter's health. But now, her eldest daughter had gone off the rails. Not only did she hurt her sister, but she also ended up hospitalized herself. The mother seriously doubted her own parenting. In just a few days, she seemed to have aged 10 years. When Sam and Diana appeared before me, she turned her head away, ignoring Diana's pleading gaze. I sat on the sofa and raised an eyebrow at them. "Go on!" Diana looked upset. "Lara, haven't you had enough? Because of you, your brother-in-law and I were just released on bail yesterday. Do you even know how much damage this has done to us?" The original character's mother couldn't take it anymore. "You made a mistake, and now you're blaming your sister? Diana, is this what I taught you?" Diana looked at her mother in disbelief. "Are you blaming me? How could you do this? I haven't been able to eat or sleep these days, and you haven't even come to see me." Instead of helping me convince Lara, "You're blaming me. Are you even my mother?" The original mother was furious. "If I weren't your mother, Just for you hurting my daughter like this. I'd make sure you end up behind bars forever. Diana was visibly upset, her chest heaving. Sam wrapped his arm around her with a worried look. Diana, are you okay? Don't scare me. He then shot a stern look at me and the original mother. You're supposed to be the closest people to Diana. Don't you know she can't get too emotional? I clicked my tongue in irritation. Oh, now you remember Diana can't get emotional? You've been hiding behind her since you walked in. You're hoping she could handle me while you just get a free pass, right? If you've got any guts, kneel and apologize to me. Hiding behind a woman, what kind of man are you? Diana once again protected her man. Laura, this is your brother-in-law. Who do you think you're yelling at? I stood up abruptly and looked at Diana coldly. When you let your man rape your own sister, did you remember that he was my brother-in-law then? Sam stared at me, shocked, as if he didn't expect me to be so blunt. Diana's eyes avoided mine. What nonsense are you talking about? What rape? Laura, how can you say such a thing? Mom, aren't you going to do something about her? I had lost my patience. Enough. Stop shouting. Either kneel down and apologize to me or go back to jail. Stop wasting my time. Sam and Diana exchanged glances. They seemed to finally realize I was serious. Sam held Diana's hand, shielding her behind him. Your sister did something wrong this time. Because of her health, she acted a bit extreme. I apologize on her behalf. I looked at him with mockery, downplaying it. Under pressure? You make it sound like I'm the unreasonable one, and you're the bigger person showing leniency? Who do you think you're fooling? Diana's face turned red with anger. Laura, don't push it too far. Yes, maybe I was wrong, but nothing happened in the end, did it? What more do you want? Smack! The original mother finally couldn't take it anymore. She slapped Diana hard. Her eyes reddened. This truly took me by surprise. Diana stood there stunned, staring at the original mother. Sam held Diana, as if infuriated. Mother-in-law, Diana is my wife. No one in this world can bully her. Not even you. The original mother was strong when faced with strength. I need your permission to hit my own daughter? What do you want? To suppress me? Sam, go back and ask your father if you even have the power to do so. Sam froze. Diana finally recovered and started screaming. You're biased. The original mother trembled with anger. Biased? Diana, that's your sister. Your own sister. You pushed her into the fire pit. Drugged her. Are you trying to kill her? Diana's eyes turned red from crying. Did she die? She didn't die. But I'm dying. I'm going to die. If I die. What about Lucas? He's so young. What will happen to him? She's my sister. My own sister. Can't she take pity on me and help me take care of Lucas? No, she can't. I replied coldly. Diana glared at me with hatred. I said, why should she pity you? That child is yours. You decided to have him. The doctor advised you not to. Mom and I also tried to persuade you not to. Mom even begged you in tears. Did you take pity on her? When Diana was pregnant, the original mother had once cried and begged her. You want to have his child. But what about my child? But Diana never seemed willing to admit she was wrong. She screamed hoarsely. Can't I have a child for the man I love? Of course. You can. I said, but you have to bear the consequences of your actions. No one else is paying for them. The apology session ended with Diana fainting. As Sam rushed to carry Diana away in a panic, the original mother instinctively took 2 steps forward but then stopped. I didn't intend to make her choose between her 2 daughters. If you're worried, you can go check on her. I said. The original mother shook her head, remaining silent. Chapter 5. Since the apology didn't work, let's just continue with the legal proceedings. Sam's lawyer was still requesting to meet me. I didn't even bother to respond. Did they really think they could get something for nothing? Not a chance. Elias was particularly invested in this case. It seemed like he was determined to dig into Sam's background, keeping a close eye on him during the investigation. And he actually uncovered something unexpected. A week before Diana drugged me, Sam underwent a vasectomy. This revelation once again highlighted Diana's selfishness to me. to make her own sister wholeheartedly take care of her child. She had no problem robbing her sister of the right to be a mother herself. If this were ancient times, and there were a pill that could permanently strip a woman of her fertility, Diana would probably have fed it to her sister without hesitation. After sharing this useful information with me, Elias left without looking back. The original mother watched with deep concern. What's going on between you and Elias? Why does it feel like you two are acting like strangers? Is he upset about this situation? I sighed helplessly and tried to reassure her. Don't worry. It's fine. Give it some time, and it'll pass. Trust me. Your son-in-law isn't going anywhere. The original mother didn't believe me. You should visit Elias's house more often. He's always busy with work, so help him tidy up the place. Then, with some suspicion, she added, you used to love going out all the time. Why are you staying at home every day now? I blinked innocently. Aren't I just sitting here waiting for someone to come and apologize? It turned out I didn't have to wait long. 3 days later, Diana showed up again, this time bringing Sam along. They were much more subdued this time. No more sidetracking or deflection, they got straight to the point and apologized. After apologizing, Diana took out a forgiveness agreement for me to sign. I looked at her in surprise. Is that it? Diana's face twisted in frustration. We've already apologized. What more do you want? I was puzzled. Did I not make myself clear? Or do you have a problem with comprehension? Get down on your knees and apologize. Didn't you understand that? Diana was so furious she was practically hyperventilating. Mom, look at her. The original mother looked up at the ceiling, feigning ignorance. Sam pulled Diana back. He turned to me and said, your sister isn't in good health. If you insist on this, I'll kneel and apologize in her place. All right? Diana looked at Sam with tears of gratitude. Honey, Sam gently stroked her cheek. I found the scene nauseating and refused without hesitation. No, this is something you both owe me. No one is getting out of it. Diana took a deep breath, clearly trying to suppress her emotions. Laura, enough. I admit I was wrong. I can't let go of Sam, and I can't let go of Lucas. In this whole world, you're the one I trust the most. You're the first person I thought of. I let out a dismissive "oh." Then I guess Lara's got some rotten luck. Diana's expression froze. I'm doing this for your own good. Look at your boyfriend, he's just a cop. What kind of future does that have? I laughed lightly. Now that's the truth, isn't it? You think letting me have Sam is somehow a blessing? You think I should be grateful? Diana looked like I'd hit the nail on the head. Even Sam seemed to think it was a perfectly reasonable idea. Seriously, where did they get this audacity? Some delusional author? I said coldly, but in my eyes, Elias is worth 1,000 times more than Sam the rapist. Laura, once again, I successfully pissed Diana off. Sam's face darkened too. Laura, do you really have to make it sound this nasty? Well, then don't do such nasty things. Your wife drugs you, and you just go along with it. Are you a hello dog or what? Laura, oh yeah, got both of them. Kneel or get lost. The stench of filth is overwhelming. Diana was swaying, but she didn't faint this time. In the end, they both knelt before me, their faces full of humiliation. While they were apologizing, I took a photo. I planned to print it out and burn it as an offering to Laura from my past life. Diana tried to snatch it, but I dodged her. Sam coldly threatened me, but before he could finish, the original mother cut in. The door is right there. Don't let it hit you on your way out. Chapter 6. Step 1, apology achieved. Step 2, time to lend them a hand. So I called Elias. Come over for dinner. Otherwise your future mother-in-law thinks she's losing her son-in-law. Elias hesitated for a moment but eventually agreed. The original mother was overjoyed and personally cooked up a feast. While she was busy cooking, I pulled Elias aside. Been busy lately? I asked him. Elias was sitting half a couch away from me. He replied formally, not too bad. Good enough. I need you to look into someone. Elias frowned instinctively. Who? A girl named Monica. Should be 19 this year. A sophomore. Studying at a university here in the city. I'm not sure which university exactly. Monica is the main female lead in this story. She appeared 6 months after Diana's death. She showed up as a nanny for Sam. The reason she gave was that she bonded with Lucas, she liked him. So, in the development of the romance between the male and female leads, Diana's son became a catalyst. However, it's odd for a college student to abandon a proper internship to become someone's nanny in the first place. It just doesn't add up. If you ask me, I'd call it premeditated. So I want to see if there's a deeper connection between Monica and Sam. After listening to me, Elias nodded. I'll get you the result as soon as possible. I was getting a little curious about Elias. I rested my chin in my hand, looking at him. I'm holding on so tightly to this. Aren't you going to try and talk me out of it? Elias's gaze turned cold. After what they did, if I had the chance, I'd hold on tightly too. A promising student. Elias worked efficiently. The next day, Elias sent me Monica's full background. Just looking at the photo at the top, I knew I had found the right person. Lara had met her. In the last period of her life, Monica had replaced all of Lara's roles in that family. Others thought Lara was pitiful, but only Lara felt a sense of relief. When Sam wanted to divorce her and said he had fallen for Monica, all Lara felt was a breath of freedom. She could finally leave without any lingering attachments. So, surprisingly, Lara even felt a slight sense of gratitude towards Monica. Sigh. I couldn't help but sigh. Lara was one of the purest and kindest people I'd ever known. Chapter 7. I continued reading. What followed was even more interesting. Monica came from a poor family. She managed to study her way out of the mountains, all thanks to the support of sponsors. And the person who sponsored her was Sam. Suddenly having a realization. I called the original mother. When Diana married Sam, didn't they sponsor some students? I think so. Why? She asked. Nothing. Just curious. The original mother didn't think much of it. If you're bored, go out for a walk. Don't stay cooped up at home all day. Got it. I did need to go out. This interesting little discovery was not something I could share with Diana just yet. But as her dearest sister, I had to show some concern for her, right? So, I hailed a cab and headed to the hospital. Diana was a very kind person, at least outwardly. Plus, she was Mrs. Sam, and she had quite a few close friends. When I arrived, there were a few people holding her hand and comforting her. Seeing me, Diana's face changed. Lara, what are you doing here? I put on an innocent look. I'm here to represent our entire family in visiting you. Diana bit her lip, her face filled with grievance and restraint. The people around her couldn't stand it. So this is your ungrateful sister? After all you've done for her, she doesn't even come visit you when you're sick in the hospital, and instead tries to drive a wedge between you and your mother. If it were me, I'd have kicked her out long ago. Don't say that. Lara is just angry with me. Diana pretended to be the saint. How could I not go along with her act? Of course, my sister is the best. She knows she doesn't have much time left, so she's trying to leave her position as Mrs. Sam to me. She was worried I'd be embarrassed, so she went ahead and bundled me off to her husband's bed. Unfortunately, I just don't think I'm worthy. Lara, Diana screamed, glaring at me viciously. I shrank back a step. Sister, did I say anything wrong? Wasn't it you who drugged me and got brother-in-law to have a vasectomy? Lara, shut your mouth. The people around her instinctively let go of her hand. Diana hurriedly tried to explain. Don't listen to her nonsense. She's just mad at me and talking nonsense here. I quickly added. Yes. I'm just making things up. Diana let out a sigh of relief. I continued. Now that things have come to this, I really can't take care of my sister's husband and her son anymore. You all are her closest friends. Surely she'll entrust the people she cares about most to you. So, please, make sure you don't let my sister down. Their faces changed. They quickly stood up and found an excuse to leave. I sighed. Sister, you really haven't chosen your friends well. They're unwilling to help you. How terrible of them. Lara, what exactly are you trying to do? Diana was trembling with anger. I hurriedly put her oxygen mask back on. Don't be angry. Don't be angry if you get sick from being mad. No one can take your place. Oh. She seemed even angrier. As much as it pleased me, I couldn't actually push her over the edge, after all. She still had quite a role to play later. I'm here to give you some advice. Mainly, I said. Diana let out a cold laugh, her voice weak. You're really that kind? Of course not. I know you're worried about Sam and Lucas, but at this point, I think you should let go of your romantic notions. Compared to Sam, you should be more concerned about Lucas. Don't try to drive a wedge between Sam and me. Diana gritted her teeth. I scoffed. The fact that you did what you did to me shows that you don't have confidence in Sam. You're afraid that with a stepmother comes a stepfather. So you want someone who'll be on your side. Diana's expression darkened. For Lucas's sake, the wisest choice you have now is to divorce Sam. Take half of his assets, rather than gamble on him being a good father for the next few decades. Impossible. Diana glared at me. I knew you were up to no good. Laura, you just can't stand to see me happy. Can you? You want me to divorce Sam? Are you out of your mind? I didn't expect her to agree, so I continued. Do you trust him that much? How long has it been since you two had relations? He's a man in his prime. How do you think he satisfies those needs? Diana, be realistic. Chapter 8. Diana is obsessed with love. She loves Sam so much that even if she dies, she doesn't want him to belong to anyone else. So, she sacrificed her own sister, holding her nose while doing it. I guess for her, this was already unbearable pain. Now, she's still alive. If anything happens with Sam, what will she do? A few days later, I received some news. Sam and Diana got into a fight. The cause was that Diana saw Sam's secretary tying his tie. That scene set her off, and she ended up grabbing the secretary by the hair and beating her. TSK. Impressive. A heart failure patient with that kind of explosive power. But Sam's secretary wasn't one to be bullied. She immediately called the police. Diana got arrested once again. In the end, it was Sam who had to spend $500,000 to settle the matter. The original mother was the one who told me about it. Apparently, Diana was deeply affected by the incident and ended up in the intensive care unit. The original mother gave Sam a good scolding. Sam felt wronged. The domineering CEO doesn't know how to tie a tie. He said that his secretary had always tied his tie, and Diana knew that. He had no idea why she reacted so strongly this time. I rubbed my nose. Of course, it was all thanks to me, but I've always been one to do good deeds without leaving my name. The original mother wanted to go to the hospital to take care of Diana. She knew Diana didn't have much time left. If Diana's emotions were stable, it wouldn't be so bad. But she was completely unhinged now. Of course, she was unhinged. I thought, in her past life, she handed Laura over to Sam. She felt relieved, comfortable, and even passed away with a smile on her face. But now, she was full of anxiety. I had no objections to the original mother wanting to take care of Diana. She could do her thing. I had my own matters to handle. I went to see Monica. She looked bewildered at my arrival. Hello, do we know each other? She was quite good at acting, but the surprise in her eyes when she first saw me told me she knew who I was. I didn't dig too deeply. I simply said, I'm here on behalf of my sister. Monica's hand, which had been hanging by her side, suddenly tightened around the fabric of her pants. What do you want with me? I raised an eyebrow. She didn't even ask who my sister was. Don't be nervous. I'm actually here to ask you for a favor. So I explained my purpose. My sister is seriously ill and doesn't have long to live. In the past, she and my brother-in-law sponsored many students, and you were one of them. I'd like to invite you to visit my sister, to cheer her up and give her some encouragement. Would that be all right? Monica visibly relaxed. Of course! I've always wanted to thank the big brother and sister who helped me, and now I finally have the chance. So, I arranged a time with her and gave her the room number. As I turned to leave, I called Elias. Could you help me look into any interactions between Monica and Sam? Elias was on top of it. I was just about to call you. He said, according to my investigation, Monica started writing to Sam 2 years ago, and they began corresponding 6 months ago. You're amazing. Chapter 9. As the appointed day approached, I suggested to the original mother that we should go visit Diana. The original mother was surprised. and then her eyes filled with tears. Laura, I know you're a good child, but you don't need to wrong yourself. No. Let's not exaggerate. I'm not. I just want to witness the drama. So, under the original mother's concerned gaze, I headed to the hospital. When I arrived, Monica hadn't come yet. Diana's eyes were full of disdain when she saw me. What are you doing here? I came to see you. Oh, Mr. Sam is here too. Sam was peeling an apple for Diana. The moment he saw me, his brow furrowed. I couldn't help but grin. I just love when they don't like me but can't do anything about it. I heard you two got into a fight. What happened? Can't the loving couple act up? Brother-in-law, you shouldn't be so ungrateful. Diana sacrificed her own family for you. Diana glared. Laura, get out of here. I don't want you visiting me. Sam stood up, trying to use his height to intimidate me. If you're just here to upset your sister, you can leave. I raised my head arrogantly. I'm here to support Diana. Both of them were momentarily speechless. Sam, don't think you can bully Diana just because her family isn't here for her. She risked her life to have your child. You better not let her down. Sam's eyes darkened. He'd heard this too many times. So many that it had started to irritate him. That's just how people are. When a kindness is forced to be repaid over time, it eventually turns into resentment. My issues with Diana are none of your concern. Well, I certainly wasn't planning on getting involved. I was just here to watch the show and poke at them a bit. As I spoke, a crisp voice sounded. Excuse me, is this Diana's room? Monica had arrived. Sam turned his head first, looking as if he had seen a ghost, a sign of a guilty conscience. Instinctively, Diana hadn't noticed. That's me. Who are you? Monica shyly walked in, holding a bouquet of lilies. Hello, Miss Diana. You might not know me. I'm one of the students you sponsored. I found out by chance that you were sick, so I wanted to come visit you. I hope you don't mind. Diana looked surprised. That's very thoughtful of you. Monica glanced at Sam and handed him the flowers. Sam avoided her gaze and took the flowers, setting them on the table indifferently. Come sit. Diana gestured for Monica to sit beside her. Monica took a seat by her bedside. What's your name? How old are you? Where do you go to school now? Monica obediently answered each question. The atmosphere was quite harmonious, but Diana couldn't handle too much, and before long, she started to look tired. Sam noticed it. He said, if you like her, she can come and keep you company more often. You're tired, get some rest. Diana nodded. Then take her out. Sure. Sam led Monica out of the room, watching their backs as they left. I casually remarked, wow, what a perfect match, such a handsome man and a lovely girl. Diana's face darkened. Why are you still here? I propped my chin on my hand and looked at her. Aren't you curious who brought Monica here? Diana looked at me warily. I didn't disappoint her. Of course. It was me. Surprised? Shocked? What exactly are you up to? She asked, her tone full of suspicion. I sighed. I really had good intentions. She said she wrote you many thank you letters. I just hoped she could bring you a little joy. After all, no matter what, we're still sisters, aren't we? Chapter 10. Diana is being discharged from the hospital. Stubborn as a mule, nobody can stop her. Even her mom is utterly exhausted. She's in no condition to be discharged. She doesn't listen to anyone and doesn't care about her body at all. Tell me, what exactly is she trying to do? What's she trying to do? Of course, she's going to look for those thank you letters. She may not fully believe me, but once a seed of doubt is planted, it will grow day and night, tormenting her. Let her go if she wants to, as long as she's happy. That's all that matters. After all, there's a big show waiting for her at home. I heard that in just 3 days. Sam pulled off something major. I'll go with you to send her home. Diana's mom sighed helplessly. Defeated, Diana didn't tell Sam about her discharge. We wheeled her back home. Even in this state, she's still tangled up in her love life. I have to give her credit, she's got a strong will. As we entered the villa, the first thing we heard was Lucas babbling. Diana's expression finally softened, but the next second, Her face turned black as coal. Not just her, everyone heard it. Lucas. Lucas. Come on. Say mommy. Mommy. Ah, Baba. Ah, no. No. It's mommy. Mommy. How entertaining. Monica, what are you doing here? Diana stared in disbelief at the girl holding Lucas. Monica was also startled. Her rosy cheeks instantly turned pale. Diana. Miss Diana. Diana's trembling finger pointed at her. I'm asking you, why are you here? Monica hugged Lucas tightly, lowering her head. She whispered, Miss, please don't misunderstand. I just feel sorry for Lucas and wanted to help Brother Sam a bit. He's been so exhausted, managing the company, taking care of you, and worrying about Lucas. Miss Diana, Brother Sam, those titles revealed everything about their relationship. Diana struggled to stand up. Her mother immediately stepped forward to support her. Give Lucas back to me. Where's the nanny? The housekeeper? The childcare professional? Is there no one else at home that you need to take over? Careful, her mother said anxiously. But Diana ignored her, reaching out directly to snatch Lucas. Monica, for some reason, avoided her. Miss Diana, please calm down. Don't frighten Lucas. What are you trying to do? Give Lucas back to me. Miss Diana, you might hurt Lucas like this. Let go. I can't let you harm Lucas. The scene grew chaotic until Diana's mother finally took control. She pushed Diana back into the wheelchair and took Lucas from Monica's arms. With a cold glare at Monica, she said, Miss, I don't know who you are, but you clearly know that Diana is Lucas's biological mother. Refusing to let go of the child while accusing her of harming him gives me every reason to question your intentions. Monica's face was filled with grievance. I didn't mean to, she said stubbornly. Lucas, frightened, cried uncontrollably. Diana took Lucas in her arms, tears streaming down her face as well. Diana's mother immediately called Sam and asked him to come back to handle the situation. Sam arrived quickly, but the first thing he said was, Diana, why are you out of the hospital? Diana's expression was one of bitter despair. Am I disrupting your happy little family? Sam frowned. What nonsense are you spouting? Nonsense? Diana pointed at Monica. Do you know what I heard when I came back? She was teaching Lucas to call her mommy. Sam looked at Monica in disbelief. Monica, looking aggrieved, hastily explained, I just wanted Lucas's first word to be mommy, so Miss Diana would be happy. This explanation wouldn't convince any woman, but Sam wasn't a woman, so he believed it. Diana, stop overthinking everything all the time. Am I overthinking, or are you behaving recklessly? How many times have you met her before deciding she should take care of Lucas? Sam, do you like her? How could I? Diana, is that what you think of me? I was enjoying the drama, but Diana's mother spoke up. Enough. If you have something to say, talk about it privately. Laura and I will head home. Sam, ask this young lady to leave too. Having this kind of scene play out in front of his mother-in-law and sister-in-law was enough to make anyone squirm with embarrassment. So, he turned to Monica and said, You should head home. Monica bit her lip and reluctantly left. When I got home, I sent Diana a message. They say no woman has ever come out alive from checking her husband's phone. Good luck. Chapter 11. I want a divorce. Diana got into Sam's phone, but her luck wasn't great. It turned out Sam and Monica had been in contact for quite a while. Sam had even complained to Monica multiple times about how suffocating his life felt and how unfamiliar Diana seemed to him now. I munched on sunflower seeds, watching the show unfold as if it had nothing to do with me. Diana's mother asked calmly, Have you thought this through? Diana lowered her head and stayed silent. Her mother looked heartbroken. I'm not asking you to think about me or Lucas. I'm asking you to think about yourself. How many foolish things have you done for Sam? How many more can your body handle? Diana, can you wake up? Diana cried. But I just can't accept this. I've given so much for him. How could he treat me like this? I let out a sarcastic laugh. Do you know what the real problem is? You don't have time. You're still caught up in whether it's right or wrong, worth it or not, love or not. Are you waiting for him to suddenly realize his mistakes? regret everything, and kneel down to beg for your love? Others might have the chasing wife in crematorium trope, yours is straight into the crematorium. Laura. Seeing the pained look on Diana's face, her mother hesitated to let me continue. Fine. I won't say more. Diana was silent for a long time. Finally, she said, Mom, take me back. This is between Sam and me. I'll handle it. Diana went back. It was obvious, she was going back to reconcile with Sam and spend the last bit of her time with him peacefully. In Diana's eyes, Sam hadn't done anything unforgivable. After all, he was just venting, he hadn't actually cheated. What she didn't understand was that when a man starts bearing his heart to another woman, it's the beginning of emotional betrayal. Diana wanted peace and quiet. But our motto is, stir things up. Men need to stay busy. What love? What confessions? Who has time for that? During the time Elias kept a close eye on Sam, he discovered that Sam had once laundered money through a shell company. He had been very careful, while it wouldn't land him in jail. It would definitely keep him occupied for a while. Previously, I told Elias to hold back. Now it was time to act. Elias gave a curt got it. I glanced at him. Smoke less. Eat more. Things are wrapping up soon. Elias stared into the distance. Thanks. Chapter 12. And just like that, Sam became incredibly busy. He started coming home later and later, with more and more social obligations. He was running around, pulling every string he could to fix things. But Diana, being a dying romantic fool, didn't care that the business world was a battlefield. All she wanted was for the man she loved to be with her at all times. One night, when Sam was drinking himself sick, I tipped Monica off about his location. Monica rushed over. Sam hugged her. He said, I'm so tired. Monica kissed his cheek. I'll stay with you. The footage was high resolution, with clear audio. I sent it to Diana. Diana fell eerily silent. It felt like the calm before a storm, and soon enough, she acted. When she made her move, it was nothing short of shocking. She cut off Sam's genitals and flushed them down the drain. Sam nearly strangled her to death. The couple ended up in the hospital together. Diana didn't have much time left. Diana's mother, in tears, asked her why she had done it. She said, I'm dying. I don't have time. If I can't make him stay loyal to me forever, I can at least make him lose the ability to betray me. What a bold woman. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Diana's mother muttered to herself. It was quite a dramatic turn of events. One committed intentional injury, the other excessive self-defense. If they pressed charges, both would end up in jail. So, in the end, they reached a mutual agreement to let it go. The man's only demand was a divorce. The woman's only demand was custody of Lucas. But Diana refused to budge. A divorce? Over my dead body. Without his genitals, Sam gradually became unhinged. One time, he even snuck into Diana's hospital room to pull out her oxygen tube. His family tried to comfort him. She's going to die soon anyway. Is it worth adding a murder charge to your name? But Sam didn't care. I'll kill her. Diana was dying. She woke up less and less frequently now. But one day, she suddenly opened her eyes wide, as if it was her final burst of energy. Looking at me, she said, Laura, can you forgive your sister? Did Diana really think she was wrong? Of course not. After all, just 2 days ago, she cursed me, saying that if it weren't for my meddling, she and Sam wouldn't have ended up like this. Now, the only reason she was asking for forgiveness was so she could leave this world in peace. How could I let her get her way? Smiling at her, I said, no, I can't. Diana died, her eyes wide open in anger. The day after Diana's funeral, Sam announced he was going to marry Monica, almost as if he was doing it to provoke my family. Diana's mother was ready to fight tooth and nail to stop it. I chuckled. Why stop it? Is this some great love story? The days of them tormenting each other are still ahead. After all, Sam's already psychologically unstable, but letting Monica taste a little hardship might be worth it. I sent a formal complaint to their school, reporting Monica for seducing the husband of her sponsor. In the letter, I asked, is this how you repay your sponsors? By breaking their trust? Who would dare to support your students in the future? After some public backlash, Monica was expelled. She angrily confronted me. All I ever did was thank Brother Sam for his help, talk to him, and help him relax. I never wanted to ruin their marriage. Their relationship was already falling apart. Do rich people really think they can just slander others without any regard for the truth? Thank Brother Sam? I asked with mock confusion. The one who funded your education was Diana. Why thank her husband instead of her? Don't tell me you didn't know. I told you myself. And if you could find Sam, you certainly could have found out about Diana. Young lady, ambition isn't a sin. Wanting to use Sam to climb your way to the top isn't shameful either. But being a hypocrite while trying to play the victim? That's low. What's the matter? Even you think your true intentions are too ugly to admit? Monica left, defeated. One quiet morning, I found Diana's mother. Diana's sudden death had aged her significantly. I told her, you can involve yourself in Lucas's life if you want, but don't let Laura get involved. She has her own life to live. She looked at me in confusion. But you're Laura. I smiled and didn't answer. Laura, where are you going? She asked. To find Elias. Will you come home for dinner? I'll be back. All right. I'll wait for you, she said. I called Elias, and he came out of the police station shortly after. Elias. What is it? Count backward from 10. What? 10. Mission completed. 9. Points calculation. 8. Reward issued. 7. Detach from the body. 6. Detach. 5. Detachment successful. 4. 3. 2. 1. Elias? Laura looked timidly at the person in front of her, uncertain as she softly called out his name. Elias snapped his head up. He opened his mouth but couldn't utter a single word. He wanted to step forward, but his feet felt like they were weighed down with lead. His hands were trembling. His heart was racing. Finally, his little girl threw herself into his arms. The system asked me, 3 lifetimes worth of virtue in exchange for a single reincarnation, is it worth it? I replied, when it comes to feelings, it's not about whether it's worth it or not. It's about whether you're willing. Then why not let her decide for herself? Wouldn't that be more satisfying? Because human hearts are complicated. Very few people in this world truly know what they want and are unwavering in their pursuit of it. Most people doubt themselves, deny themselves, and even despise themselves along the way. Revenge is never easy. So many people destroy themselves in the process of seeking revenge. And besides, someone wants his little girl to live a clean, happy, and carefree life. But that's enough. Next mission.